turn off. What are you talking about? Did I lose you?
No, Miles.
Thanks for taking the time to join me on my channel, Nigel's View on Things. How you doing? How you keeping? Hope everybody's safe and sound where you are. Every now and then a story pops up that makes me go, ooh, that's quite interesting. And this is one of them. I'll leave the links to everything I'm talking about in the description box down below, nice and simple for everybody to find. Science Tech Daily. Asteroid Ryugu sample brought back to Earth gets a close look up. This is by Brown University on October the 2nd, 2021. Looking at the story, going down here. In December 2020, Japan's Hayabusa spacecraft swung by Earth to drop off a cache of rock samples taken from a near-Earth asteroid called Ryugu. Asteroids like Ryugu are thought to represent ancient building blocks of the solar system, and scientists have been eager to get a close look at the returned samples. So let's go down a little bit further, and we can see that there's a picture here. Ralph Milliken's, I most probably just butchered that, eyes a tiny piece of the asteroid Ryugu. Here's the problem I actually do have. We've been to a Martian world, we've taken a sample, we brought it back to Earth. Wouldn't you think it would be an absolutely great idea to have it in a biohazard lab? I mean, really, we don't actually know what it contains, and what could possibly go wrong. We've got a man standing there with a mask and a test tube that's plugged off, and if he drops that sample on the floor, what could possibly happen? I mean, what they're going to do is blame that on China, I'm sure. In this day and age, there is some strange things most definitely going on. I think you can agree. For me, this story really just doesn't make any sense. Biohazard suit? No, just wear a mask, a test tube, everything will be fine. That story that you've just read really doesn't make any sense by itself. But when you collect all those news stories, throw them onto a table, you can see a pattern that starts to emerge that builds a much bigger picture. I think we're being told in each and every way. Are we listening? Are we paying attention? And here's a story that's been floating about on the internet for quite some time, and they keep reminding us that this is going to happen. SpaceX almost ready to launch NASA asteroid impact spacecraft. And this is from Teslarati. I wonder if it's one of those new motor vehicles. I'm just saying. Let's have a look at this. Weighing around 690 kilos, 1,500 pounds at liftoff. So it is actually a weight of a small family car. NASA confirmed that the DART spacecraft and its Italian-built Licker Cube, I'm sure I butchered that, smallest comparison, are on track to launch out of SpaceX VSFB SLC 4E pad. Well, they could have just said pad 13 or pad 12 or pad 1 on a Falcon 9 rocket no earlier than November the 23rd, 2021. Carrying its small passenger, DART will then make a beeline for the binary asteroid pair, Didymos and Dimorphos, respectively, measuring around 8 and 170 metres across. DART will ultimately target the smaller of the pair and accelerate to an impact velocity of 6.6 kilometres, which is 4 miles per second, on March the 19th. Reading this article, what it actually tells us is they're sending a spacecraft that is extremely small to something that is quite big, and are hoping to deflect it in space. Another news story that pops up on my feed, which links in with the last article we just looked at. Could 1 million small asteroids be on a collision course with Earth? Published October the 2nd, 2021, and it's published by Today. Let's have a quick look and just breeze over this. Beijing, up to 1 million asteroids could be on course for the Earth over the next century, according to a new study by the Chinese astronomers. While the risk of collision is low, most of the asteroids are less than 100 metres across. The small size and the large number make these short-term hazardous asteroids, SHA, extremely difficult to track, said Professor Gan Qingbo and colleagues at the Space Debris Observation and Data Application Center at the Chinese National Space Administration. That was a mouthful. The accurate identification of impact threat targets and early warning capabilities require more precise algorithms for orbit determination and impact risk assessment, they said in a paper published in a domestic peer-reviewed journal, Actor Astronomer Sinker, on Thursday. This article is based on a peer-reviewed paper that research is out there for the whole scientific community to pick apart and have a look at. And you just got to ask yourself, how long ago did this happen? How long ago did our governments know? I think they've known for quite some time that something is coming. And like I said, they seem to be preparing us. And yet again, I'm going off track. Back on with the video, Nige. What actually come to mind when I was reading this article is what come through our Oort cloud and asteroid belt and moved such a great mass of asteroids in our general direction. Something out there was playing a great big game of snooker, pool, or billiards, whatever you like. But whatever it must have been, it seems it must have been quite big. Just saying. Astronomers have focused on bigger asteroids with the potential to hit Earth. Asteroids with a diameter in tens of meters have not been regarded as a serious threat, with little interest in how many SHAs were out there or when they would come. But neglecting the threat could be costly, according to the Chinese researchers. In 2013, an asteroid exploded over the Russian city of Chelyabinsk. The asteroid was only 19 meters wide, but it generated an explosion 30 times as powerful as a nuclear blast over Hiroshima. This was the asteroid that NASA didn't spot. This also air blasted and didn't hit the floor. If it actually did hit the floor, the devastation would have been world-changing in our lifetime, that's for sure. The shock waves damaged more than 7,200 buildings across a vast area. Nobody was killed, but 1,500 people required medical treatment for various injuries, mostly caused by shattered windows. If you actually watch the analysis video of the Chelyabinsk explosion, it looks like something takes this asteroid out before it hits the floor. Many people have actually debated whether it is a missile, but it looks like it explodes with a little bit of help. It further goes on to say they analysed data in the global asteroid database, calculated the orbiting behaviours of small targets and found that more than 700 of them could hit Earth within a century. That is a fair few number. Of those, 5 had a collision risk of 1 in 1,000, a probability that could change with the constant variations in their orbits. A very interesting article full of information. Many people will actually read this and just take it as a news article. They won't actually think about what has actually caused this. And we know that something at some stage has come through our solar system, or multiple times. All you need to do to see the proof is just think asteroid belt. And now we've got a debris field coming towards us. Does that mean that object or objects are coming back towards us? Here's a news article from Marfoogle, and it really goes hand in hand with the last article we just read. And are we getting a little bit of disclosure going on? The new study solidifies evidence for the existence of a ninth planet. In 2016, astronomers for the University of California, in a paper published Astronomical Journal, theorized the existence of a yet undiscovered planet in the outer reaches of the solar system. The paper based its hypothesis on the anomalies that the objects in the Kuiper Belt exhibited in their orbits around the Sun. The astronomers said the existence of a yet undiscovered planet perfectly explains the unusual clustering of icy asteroids and comets around the Kuiper Belt, thought to be 6 times the mass of the Earth. The announcement caused a massive controversy. Despite that, the search for Planet 9 continued. Curiously, astronomer Michael Brown, who is largely responsible for the demotion of Pluto, the former 9th planet in the solar system, into a dwarf planet. He has now published another study narrowing the area of the mysterious planet could be lurking in. It goes on to say, according to the study where Brown has re-examined the original evidence published in 2016, the chances of the anomalies being a fluke due to observational bias is less than 0.5%. The study has also included a treasure map, using which astronomers could find the best places to look for the planet. The study also found that Planet 9 could be closer to the Sun than the original study proposed, hence the closer orbit means that the planet would be much brighter and much easier to see. If the planet did exist, according to Brown, it would be more likely a cold gas giant similar to Neptune and would be roughly 6 to 10 times the mass of the Earth. For me, I quite like this article because it really does disclose that they found Planet 9. The next thing they're going to tell us is it's there, but they're not going to do that until the last minute. Oh, sorry, we missed it. If the world knew the truth, I think it would turn to chaos. Oh, are we already not there? Here's another news article that actually links with the last one, then links with that one, and I think you get the general idea. They all seem to link together. From Interesting Engineering, evidence indicates there's a planet the size of Mars in our solar system. If it's there, the rumoured Planet 9 may have company. This was written September the 27th, 2021 by Brad. Our solar system has more surprises in store. The 8 official planets aren't the only ones that survived the formation of our solar system, and the Earth might have another sister planet lurking somewhere in interstellar space. In the third zone of the solar system, according to a recent paper published in the Journal of Annual Review Astronomy and Astrophysics. This means that if Planet 9 is out there, it might have a Mars-sized company, maybe a Mars-sized planet. Have they started making companies in space? I'm sure they have. Computer simulations hint at a Mars-sized twin beyond Neptune, and as we go down here, we can see that if Planet 9 was lurking in our solar system, we finally know where it is. Surprise, surprise. Here's a very similar story to the one we've just looked at from Tech Radar. Our solar system may have a hidden planet beyond Neptune. No, not that one. Very similar in many different ways, but I need to show you this because it is very, very interesting. Other planetary scientists are also finding similar results in their simulations. In these simulations, the outer planets were not in their original orbits and sometimes not even in the same order, and the simulation suggested that the gas giants may have had additional help to get to their current positions. Some of the large objects from the inner solar system might have been pulled out by the gas giants and eventually pushed out to the periphery of the solar system, or even out of it entirely. Our simulations have found that in half the cases, all the Mars-scale planets in the outer solar system were ejected into interstellar space, Tremaine said, but the remaining half, one rogue planet, was left in an orbit similar to that of the detached population of the Kuiper Belt objects. So the theories about Planet 9, Planet X, whatever you like to call it, are not so far-fetched now, according to this research, because these objects could have actually ploughed into a gas giant and knocked it into an elliptical orbit off the plane into an orbit of approximately every 3,000 years, and on the way out it captured a few friends. Now that wouldn't be possible, would it? We're 14 minutes into this video and I'm sure you've got better things to be doing than sitting here listening to me whittling on about woo-woo. I think that's the new word, woo-woo. If you've actually made it this far, thank you very much for taking the time to watch my video or videos. To each and every single one of you, it is very appreciated. I'd like to thank all my subscribers, and without you I would not actually have a channel, or viewers as it be. If you're thinking about subscribing, hit that button and also hit that notification bell. I'm sure that YouTube won't notify you, and please share and comment. Also, if you don't mind, hit that like button or dislike button. One last article for you before I go, and I think it's the most important one. But before I do, I need to interject. Oh, what such big words you speak, Nige. There's going to be people in the comment section and they're going to be saying, well, you've got no proof of what you're saying in any way, shape or form. Well, what about the red spinning planet? Well, that isn't proof in itself because that's a lens flare of our sun, Nige. Firstly, lens flares don't rotate, and also lens flares certainly don't rotate that fast. Well, if you think our sun does, and you're calling that a lens flare. And secondly, technically, no, it's not a lens flare, it's a projected image onto the screen of the camera through the lensing system that's in place, and that is a dead giveaway to what we're seeing. If you actually want proof, something that really stands out for me is the migration of the poles. At some stage, very, very shortly, they're going to flip, and you've got to ask yourself, what is actually making that happen? Because a big planet would cause that to happen with the many factors that go with it. Just look round, and if you think about it logically, it tells you everything you need to know. I think this story is very, very important. Many people would have read this and not really thought of the implications of what they've read. If you think this is going to be countrywide, I don't think so. When we're being told by a major government, the official warning from the Department of Homeland Security, 6 months or more without critical utilities, I think the event will be worldwide. Well, it's finally happened. You've probably already heard about it. The United States government has officially on paper to the public said the electrical grid, water supply, gas supply and much more are in dire jeopardy of failing if our electrical grid is taken out by a natural or man-made disaster. So maybe the first one could be a CME, that Carrington event that sends us back to the Stone Age. Now that would be very inconvenient. An EMP may be localised, but it could affect the whole world. It depends how many boom booms go off in the sky.
The hell is going on?
That is definitely man-made. So another event that could take place that's man-made. Hackers taking the internet out because they're bored. I'm sure that's exactly what it's going to be.
It's a fire sale.
That would definitely restrict the flow of information and everything that we understand, everything we use in every walk of life.
What's a fire sale?
It's a 3-step systematic attack on the entire national infrastructure of any country. Step 1, take out transportation, planes, trains and automobiles. We've watched that film. Step 2, the financial base and telecoms. And that would cause a little bit of a problem. Step 3, get rid of all utilities, gas, water, electric and nuclear, and just about everything else that runs on the internet, which is about everything nowadays. They've been practicing. Have you been taking notice? Oh, where's my social media disappear to? But really that event wouldn't send us back to the Stone Age, but the ramifications of that event ensuing and the chaos that then follows, well, I'll leave that up to your imagination. I'm also very sure that they've got a kill switch to terminate the internet. When an event takes place, they can just flip a switch and turn it all off.
It's going to turn off and it will never, ever turn back on.
And surprise, surprise, I come across this article from the BBC. I found it on Marfoogle News, on his shorts, his YouTube shorts. That really didn't come out right, did it? So thank you very much, Adam. I'll leave the links to his channel in the description box down below. Funny when you're making a video how things come together. Dated the 24th of November 2010, 11 years ago. So, yeah, has this actually changed? Should Obama's internet kill switch power be curbed? Under World War II era law, the US President appears to have authority to disconnect computer systems and servers. Very, very important there. Computer systems and servers. Have they actually done this before and blamed it on hackers from the internet in the event of a national emergency? The law was passed in 1942. The Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor had provoked fear of a foreign invasion of US soil. And it goes on. and I'll leave that for you to read. But, oh, what a surprise. I really do think that the whole world should sit up and pay attention when the American government starts announcing to its citizens they're going to be without utilities for 6 months or more. Food and water for each person should be stocked up. That's what they say. It's got to make you wonder. They know that something is definitely 100% coming. They're letting the world know. Like I said in the last video, it looks like the world's governments are gearing up to conflict or an event that's going to take place. Well, I'm going to hedge my bets on an event.
It was pandemonium in paradise after that alert was sent to phones throughout the state and broadcast on television.
A missile may impact on land or sea within minutes.
Many people starting to wake up to the fact that there is something not quite right going on. And it's not like we're in the middle of an event as we speak, in real life, in full swing, and we're being programmed at the same time with the shortages, and that's down to, oh yes, the flu, I'm sure it is. And there's many other stories out there that go hand in hand with what I'm talking about, and many distractions right in front of your face. Take your pick. I'm sure you can make your own minds up. I'm going to leave the links to everything I've been talking about in the description box down below. Nice and simple for everybody to find. If you've made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Really appreciate it. Anyway, that's all I've got for you now. Much love, much peace, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.
The latest provocation from North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un after North Korea launched another missile over Japan, the second time in a month, this one believed to be an intermediate-range ballistic missile. North Korea launching the missile from the capital of Pyongyang, passing over Japan just 10 minutes later and landing 1,200 miles off the coast of the Japanese island of Hokkaido, traveling 2,300 miles total.
North Korea is at least claiming about this last test is talking about a powerful electromagnetic pulse that they say could knock out entire cities in the U.S. It seems to me the stakes have gotten higher when this is not just a hydrogen bomb, which is massive enough, scary enough, but when you walk through this, what exactly is an EMP? It's the burst of radiation when a nuclear weapon is detonated above the Earth. No blast felt on Earth, but the electromagnetic fields still reach the surface.